Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Let's do it together. It's been a while on this channel, yeah. So I'm back now. I'm better, and I want to use this opportunity to say thank you to all my subscribers and to those that shares on me. Thank you and God bless you. So on today's tutorial, I'll be illustrating to us on how to cut and stitch Iro and Buba. But firstly, I want to tell us how to measure your buba. So if you want to measure your buba, maybe for your client or yourself, you are going to place your tape rule at the middle of your neck. Place your tape rule around here, then you measure down to where you want the sleeve to be. So firstly, you measure from your midpoint to where you want the shoulder to be. Buba shoulder is different from our normal shoulder, because buba shoulder is always come down a little bit, like 4 inches to our shoulder. So you measure round from your neck down. Let's assume that this is our shoulder point. So you place your tape rule around here, then you measure down a little bit, like 3 inches or 4 inches down to away from your shoulder point. So that is where your sleeve and your body something is going to connect. So then you measure it down to where you want your sleeve to be. If you are, there's something called towel sobe, but it's not common again now. People usually sew the oleku style, and if you want to sew oleku style, is normal. You are going to use 10 inches for the sleeve oleku. If your materials is ankara, you are going to add folding allowance of 2 inches to it, then joining allowance half inches, which is, so if your sleeve length is 10, you are going to add 2.5 to it, which makes it a 12 and a half. So that is for buba. But for lace, you are only going to add half inches for the joining allowance here. You are going to add half inches to it. Then from the front, you place your tape rule around here. Then you measure down where you want your buba to be. You measure it down here. And normal length for buba is 25, some 26, some 27. It depends on how tall your customer is. So if you are cutting, if it's a lace materials, you are only going to use that 25. But if it is ankara, just have it at the back of your mind that you are adding folding allowance 1 inch to it. So, and for the euro, the normal length for euro is 42 times 42. Measure 42 times 42, or it's the same thing as 2 inches and 13, 2 years and 13 inches, sorry. So 42 is the same thing as 2 years and 13 inches. But for those that is very fat, you can use 2.5, 2.5 exact. Then you add you have to add a rope to it. So let's get started. Guys, I welcome you again to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, please, and like it and share it among friends and family. So on today's tutorial, I'll be making use of my tape rule, my scissors, my chalk, and of course my fabric. And I'm making use of lace materials, which is 5 years of lace materials. So the first thing I'm going to be doing now, so now I'm going to be measuring out my my wrapper's measurement, which is 42 plus 42, 42 plus 42. So you are going to place your tape measure at the edge of, there's something we call a TRJ in Yoruba. So you are going to place your tape rule around that place and measure it straight. The TRJ is where the fabric is being sealed so that it won't pull off. You measure out your 42 twice like that, and notch it wherever it stopped. Measure it out like that. Measure out your 42. Measure out for your 42 like that. If you are cutting wrapper for the big size, I mean for the person that is very fat, you can make use of 2.5 exact and add your rope. You can make use of 2.5, but for this person doesn't want a wrapper, so I'm just going to sew it like that, and I will notch it and cut it out. So after cutting it out, I'm going to set it aside. So the next thing now is to cut out my buba, which is my buba. So the next thing I'm going to do, I will fold the edge of my lace together. I'm going to fold it together like this. So guys, I want you to pay attention to this area. This is where the major works lie. So I want you to pay a full attention to this area. So I'm going to fold my fabric, the edge of my fabric together like so, like that. Then I'm going to refold it again. Remember that whatever thing you are cutting, either blouse skirt, you are cutting it times 4. So the length I'll be using here is 25. I'm using the whole length of the lace. Then I'm going to fold it again to my desired length. Remember, the measurement we are using for the body is 48. If you are given a fabric and you are asked to sew a row and buba for the person you have not seen, or maybe you didn't measure the buba of that person, whatever the shoulder of that person is, just add 4 inches to it. Just add 4 inches plus half inches allowance. I have half inches joining allowance. So here I'm folding my fabric into 4, and I'm going to make sure that whatever I'm folding is enough for the body measurement. And the body measurement I'm using is 48. 48 divided by 4, as usual, is 12. So, and don't forget, if you are cutting your buba doesn't have joining at the shoulder. So don't make that mistake. You don't have to add joining. Buba doesn't have joining at the shoulder, sorry. So you are going to sew. This is my center front. I'm folding the back and the front together. So, and I'm marking out my 12.5. Remember, I'm making use of our body measurement is 48 divided by 4. So, and that is what I'm doing. And I'm going to add half inches joining allowance to it. The allowance we are going to add, it depends on you, but it's advisable for you to add half inches. Half inches is okay for the joining allowance. So I'm going to cut it out like that. So after cutting it out, the next thing now is to mark my neck. Buba neck is always 3 by 3.5. 3 by 3.5, except if the person wants it in a different way. Buba neck, the width for buba neck is 3, while the depth is 3.5. I'm going to zoom my camera now so that you can see what I'm going to mark out from that edge. Is 3 by 3.5. 3 by 3.5. Do not make that mistake. So here is our side, and we are going to start measuring our neck from our center, both center back and center front. So here I'm marking out my 3 inches. I'm marking out my 3 inches allowance like so by 3.5. So if the person want the depth of a neck to go low, you can make use of 4 inches for the depth of your neck. You can make use of 4 inches, but here I'm making use of 3 by 3.5. 3 by 3.5. So I'm doing this square method because of the beginners in the house. So in order for the neck to be straight, that will stand as a guideline to you. So after measuring out, you are going to cut it out neatly. I'm going to cut it out like that. I'm going to cut it out. So that is the neck of our buba. And after cutting the neck out, you are going to notch the shoulder of your buba, because that is going to stand as a guideline for the joining of both the sleeve and the buba all together. So here is the outcome of our buba. Very, very simple, easy and elegant. So if you have any comment concerning this tutorial, please make sure you drop it in the comment section. Now for the sleeve, you are going to fold it exactly the way you fold your buba. You fold it like this. You fold it like this. For the sleeve length, I'm going to be making use of 14.5 for the sleeve length. If you are making an oleku sleeve, the length for oleku sleeve is usually 11 or 10.5. So you mark out your 14.5 like that. You mark it out like that. I'm making sure that my 14.5 is very straight. Then I will connect it to a straight line like that. After that, the width for my sleeve is 10.5. The width I'm going to be using for this sleeve is 10.5. The half is for joining. The normal round sleeve is 10. So I'm going to be marking out my 10.5 like that. If your fabric is not, the width of your fabric is not enough, you are going to pull it to the front. So I'm making use of 10.5. Making use of 10.5. The half is for joining, while the 10 inches is for the round sleeve. So I'm going to mark it out like that. After marking it out, I will connect it with a straight line, then cut it out. I'm going to cut it out like that. So the remaining fabric is going to stand for the head tie, which is gele. So here is the remaining fabric. So I'm going to set that one aside too. Set it aside too. And then I'm going to cut out my sleeve out from that fabric. And cut it out like that. And notch it at the center. Remember, we notch our buba at the shoulder. So also same thing with the sleeve, because I'm going to be connecting the center of my sleeve to that of my shoulder. I'm going to give it a notch like that, and I'm going to set it aside. The remaining fabric, if the person really wants, a rope to use or a wrapper, you can use the remaining fabric for it. Now to the joining. The first thing you are going to do, you are going to pin down the edge of your wrapper by 2 inches. You fold it in by 2 inches, then pin it down. If you are a beginner in the house, please don't be lazy. Make sure you use a tape measure to measure that 2 inches. Measure it down. Then when sewing, you are going to sew from that edge. Then you fold it in like that. Fold it in like that. Then you start joining. Here I'm making use of lace materials which add stone. So if you are using lace materials that has stone, make sure you remove all the stone in order to avoid the breaking of your needle. So I'm going to join it like So that is how you are going to join the two edge of your wrapper together. You're going to join it together like that. See? Then after joining it, make sure you remove all your pins. It's very, very important. You remove all your pin, then you give it a good press. You give it a good press like that. Here is the finishing look of my wrapper. So the next thing now is to join my sleeve. But the first thing I'm going to be doing, I'm going to weave the edge of my sleeve. I'm going to weave the side together. So after weaving it, I'll come back and show you what I've got. I will come back and show you. Then I'm going to join it with half inches. Remember, we only have half inch joining allowance to hit. So I will come back and show you. So this is what I've got here. I've already joined my sleeve together, as you can see, and I've already weave it. It's very neat and perfect. So the next thing now is I'm going to be joining my sleeve to my buba. Please pay attention to this area. Is very, very important. It's very, very important, most especially joining of your sleeve to your buba. If care is not taken, it will give the armpit of that buba a funny look. So pay a very, very attention to it. And if this video has helped you a lot, if you find it helpful, please give me a thumbs up, and you can drop a comment for me in the comment section. So here I'm going to be mashing the two notch together, the center of my sleeve with the center of my buba. I'm going to be mashing it together. I'm going to pin it down together. Please pay attention to this area. It's very, very important. After pinning it down like that, you are going to pin it to the right side and also to the left side. Pin it to the right side and also to the left side. You're going to pin it around like that. Going to pin it around like that. Then you start your joining from where the joining of that sleeve's end. You start your joining from that point. Start your joining from that point. And once again, please subscribe to my channel. You can only encourage me by subscribing to my channel, like it, share it, and give me a comment. I want to hear your comments concerning this video. I want to hear your comments concerning this video. So now what next is I'm going to sew it round with that my half-inch allowance. I'm going to sew it round. Then watch the way I'm going to join my sleeve. I'm not going to start from my joining allowance. I'm going to start from where my the exact point where I've joined my sleeve. I'm going to start from that point. Then I will sew it round. Sew it round like that. Sew it round like that. Sew it round like that. So same thing to the other side. I'm not going to cross over to the other side. I'm going to stop at that edge. Is from one point to another point. So just watch what I'm doing here. I hope you are getting what I'm doing here. I just hope you get what I just did in that area. So after joining it, make sure you remove all your pins. You remove all your pins and cut out all the unnecessary thread. As you can see, this is how your sleeve is going to stand. So that is how to join your sleeve to your buba. And there's something I didn't mention when cutting my buba. At the down parts, the downside of your buba, for lace, you are going to measure 4 inches upward. you're going to measure 4 inches upward. That 4 inches is going to stand as slit. So take note of this. If you are making iro and buba ankara, instead of 4 inches, 5 inches upward. So that is for ankara because of the folding allowance you are going to be adding at the bottom side. Now for the side, for the body of your buba, from where you stop joining your sleeve, you are going to start joining your buba from that point. Just patiently watch how I'm sewing this. Patiently watch how I'm sewing this. Then you are going to stop from where at that area where you notch for your slit. Then for the slit, you are going to fold it twice like that, as if you want to join your what's it called, your edge tie. So you are going to fold it in and join it like that. Fold it in and join it like that. So also to the other side, you join it the same way. It's the same method. You join it the same way. It's very simple, easy to make if you pay attention to it. Very simple and easy to make. And please guys, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, don't forget to share. And if you subscribe, do not forget to press the notification bell so that you'll be notified anytime I drop a new video here. And give me a thumbs up if you find this video helpful. Give me a thumbs up if you find it helpful. So now I'm through with my buba. Not yet through though. I'm going to weave all those areas. Then I'm going to bias the neck of my buba. See you in my next video. Thank you for watching.